Imagine waiting 4 long years for one football match, one game that could define an entire generation. A stadium filled with more than 80,000 fans. Millions watching across the world. Two football giants standing face to face. On one side, Argentina, carrying the hopes of a nation desperate to lift another World Cup. On the other, Spain, a young, fearless squad determined to prove that a new era of football had officially begun. Nobody knew that by the final whistle, history would be rewritten forever. This wasn't just another World Cup final. It was a tactical masterpiece, an emotional roller coaster, and a battle that would be remembered for decades. But how did Spain manage to defeat one of the toughest teams on the planet? What decisions changed the match? And what really happened behind every crucial moment? Stay with me until the end because this is the complete story of how Spain won the 2026 FIFA World Cup against Argentina. Welcome to GameBlueprint, the place where football's biggest moments become unforgettable stories. Here we don't just watch matches. We uncover the tactics, emotions, strategies, and hidden details that shape football history. If you love dramatic football documentaries and stories that go beyond the final score, you're in exactly the right place. Long before the players walked onto the pitch, the atmosphere around the final had already reached unbelievable levels. Every newspaper, every television channel, every football analyst had been debating only one question. Could Spain stop Argentina? Argentina had fought through one of the toughest knockout paths in recent World Cup history. They had survived intense battles, eliminated powerful opponents, and arrived in the final carrying incredible confidence. Their players looked calm, experienced, and mentally prepared for one last challenge. Spain's journey had been completely different. At the beginning of the tournament, many experts believed they were talented but too young. Critics questioned whether their rising stars could handle the pressure of football's biggest stage. Every knockout match became another opportunity to silence those doubts. With each victory, Spain's confidence grew stronger. Their passing became sharper, their pressing became more aggressive, and their belief became almost impossible to break. As kickoff approached, fans from every corner of the world filled the stadium with color. Argentina's famous sky blue and white shirts covered one side of the arena. Spain's sea of red transformed the opposite stands into a wall of passion. Flags waved everywhere. Chants echoed across the stadium. Every camera focused on the players standing inside the tunnel. Some footballers closed their eyes in concentration. Others stared straight ahead, refusing to look away. They understood that 90 minutes could define their careers forever. Winning a World Cup final is every footballer's dream, but only one team would leave with the trophy. As the national anthems played, emotions became impossible to hide. Some players sang every word with pride. Others fought back tears, knowing this was the biggest night of their lives. The tension could almost be felt through television screens around the world. When the referee finally blew the whistle, Argentina immediately tried to control possession. Their plan was clear. Slow the tempo, force Spain to chase the ball, and gradually create spaces through patient passing. It was a strategy they had successfully used throughout the tournament. Spain, however, had prepared for exactly this situation. Instead of sitting deep and waiting, Spain surprised everyone by pressing high from the very first minute. Every Argentine defender found himself under immediate pressure. Every pass became difficult. Every touch had to be perfect. The opening minutes revealed something fascinating. Spain wasn't interested in simply defending. They wanted to dominate. Whenever Argentina attempted to build from the back, Spain's midfield moved together like one perfectly connected machine. Passing lanes disappeared almost instantly. Argentina's defenders were forced into longer passes than they usually preferred, allowing Spain to regain possession much earlier than expected. This tactical adjustment completely changed the rhythm of the match. Commentators quickly noticed that Spain's young players showed absolutely no fear. Instead of respecting Argentina's reputation too much, They attacked with confidence, moved the ball quickly, and trusted their system. The midfield battle soon became the heart of the final. Every loose ball was contested. Every challenge carried enormous importance. Small victories in midfield slowly turned into larger advantages across the pitch. Spain's coach had clearly instructed his players to overload central areas while allowing quick wingers to stretch Argentina's defensive line. This forced Argentina into difficult decisions. Should they protect the middle or stop dangerous attacks down the wings? Every decision created another weakness. The opening 15 minutes produced several promising attacks from both sides, but neither goalkeeper faced a truly dangerous shot. Instead, both teams focused on understanding each other's movement patterns. Argentina searched patiently for spaces between Spain's defenders. Spain searched for moments to attack with speed. The tactical chess match had officially begun. As the first half continued, Spain's confidence became increasingly visible. Every successful pass energized the team. Every interception frustrated Argentina. Even when Spain lost possession, they immediately hunted the ball together, refusing to allow Argentina time to organize attacks. This relentless pressing slowly began to drain Argentina's energy. Several experienced Argentine players were forced to retreat deeper than usual simply to help build attacks. While this helped maintain possession, it also reduced their attacking threat higher up the pitch. Spain recognized this instantly. Their defenders pushed further forward. Their midfield compressed the space. The entire team moved almost perfectly in sync. It was exactly the type of modern football that had made Spain famous during previous golden generations, but this version looked even faster, more athletic, and far more aggressive. The crowd sensed momentum beginning to shift. Every Spanish tackle received huge cheers. Every successful dribble increased belief inside the stadium. Meanwhile, Argentina remained dangerous. Their individual quality meant one brilliant moment could completely change everything. Every counterattack forced Spain's defenders to stay alert. One mistake could cost the World Cup. The intensity became extraordinary. Players sprinted after every loose ball as though the trophy itself depended on each challenge. Because in many ways, it did. As the 20th minute approached, Spain created their first truly dangerous sequence. Quick passes through midfield pulled Argentina's defenders out of position. A clever run behind the defensive line opened space inside the penalty area. The crowd rose to its feet, expecting the breakthrough. Argentina somehow survived. A last-second interception prevented what looked like a certain goal. The warning, however, was impossible to ignore. Spain were no longer simply competing. They were beginning to control the World Cup final. For Argentina, the pressure was increasing with every passing minute. They needed to find an answer before Spain's confidence became unstoppable. Argentina understood that if they continued allowing Spain to dictate the tempo, the match would slowly slip away from them. Their coaching staff signaled from the touchline, urging the players to push higher and become more aggressive in midfield. Almost immediately, the intensity increased. Every challenge became harder. Every pass was contested. Every inch of the pitch turned into a battlefield. For the next several minutes, neither side was willing to give away even the smallest advantage. Spain continued to move the ball with remarkable patience, forcing Argentina to chase from one side of the field to the other. The constant movement began creating tiny gaps between Argentina's midfield and defensive lines. Those gaps were almost invisible to most viewers, but Spain's players spotted them instantly. One perfectly timed pass broke through the first line of pressure. Another quick touch sent the ball wide. The winger accelerated down the flank, leaving his marker behind before delivering a dangerous cross into the penalty area. Thousands of fans held their breath. The striker connected with the ball, but Argentina's goalkeeper reacted brilliantly, stretching every muscle to push the shot away. The rebound bounced dangerously inside the box before an Argentine defender cleared it at the very last second. Spain had come within inches of taking the lead. The stadium erupted with applause. Even neutral fans could feel the quality of football on display. It wasn't just about skill anymore. It was about courage, discipline, and the ability to stay calm under unimaginable pressure. Argentina finally responded with one of their own attacks. A quick turnover in midfield allowed them to launch a rapid counterattack. 3 blue and white shirts sprinted forward while Spain's defenders raced back toward their own goal. For a brief moment, it looked like Argentina had found exactly the opening they had been waiting for. A perfectly weighted through ball split Spain's defense. The attacker charged toward goal. Only the goalkeeper stood between Argentina and the opening goal. Instead of rushing out recklessly, Spain's goalkeeper stayed patient, waiting until the final possible second before closing the angle. The Argentine forward struck the ball with power, but the goalkeeper produced a magnificent save, getting just enough of his hand on the shot to push it wide of the post. The entire Spanish bench jumped to its feet in celebration. Sometimes championships are won by goals. Sometimes they are won by saves. That moment gave Spain another wave of confidence while frustrating Argentina even further. The pace of the match became relentless. Both teams pressed with incredible energy. Every recovery run, every interception, and every tackle showed how much the trophy meant to every single player on the field. Spain's midfield continued to dominate possession. Their players rarely held the ball for more than 2 touches. Instead, they relied on quick combinations that constantly forced Argentina to shift from side to side. The movement looked effortless, but it was the result of years of tactical preparation and endless training. Argentina began committing more players forward in search of a breakthrough. While this increased their attacking threat, it also created dangerous spaces behind their defensive line. Spain were waiting for exactly that opportunity. Just before halftime, Spain launched another lightning-fast attack. The move started deep inside their own half. A defender intercepted an Argentine pass and immediately played the ball into midfield. 1 touch. 2 touches. 3 quick passes later, Spain had crossed the halfway line with incredible speed. The winger sprinted into open space before cutting inside. Instead of shooting from a difficult angle, he spotted a teammate making a late run into the penalty area. The pass was perfectly weighted. The first touch controlled the ball beautifully. The second touch was a powerful strike toward the bottom corner. The stadium exploded. The ball smashed against the inside of the post before crossing the goal line. Spain had finally broken the deadlock. Players rushed toward the corner flag as thousands of Spanish supporters erupted in celebration. Coaches embraced each other on the sidelines while substitutes sprinted from the bench. Years of preparation had produced the biggest goal of the tournament. Argentina's players stood silently for a few seconds, disappointed but not defeated. They knew there was still plenty of football left to play. As halftime arrived, Spain walked into the dressing room leading by 1 goal. But inside that dressing room, nobody celebrated. The coaching staff reminded the players that 1 goal leads disappear quickly in World Cup finals. They emphasized concentration, discipline, and teamwork. Every player understood that the hardest 45 minutes of their lives were still ahead. Across the hallway, Argentina's dressing room was completely different. There was no panic. There was no shouting. Only determination. Their coach calmly explained what needed to change. The team had to move the ball faster, attack the spaces behind Spain's midfield, and increase the pressure inside the final third. Everyone believed the comeback was still possible. When the second half began, Argentina looked like a completely different team. Their pressing became far more aggressive. Their passing became quicker. Their movement off the ball became sharper. Spain suddenly found themselves defending deeper than they had during the opening half. Wave after wave of Argentine attacks crashed toward Spain's penalty area. Crosses flew into the box. Long-range shots tested the goalkeeper. Dangerous corners created moments of chaos. Spain's defense refused to break. Every defender threw himself into blocks. Every clearance was celebrated almost like a goal. Communication remained constant as teammates encouraged each other through every difficult moment. The pressure continued to build. One dangerous free kick curled toward the top corner before Spain's goalkeeper produced another world-class save, tipping the ball over the crossbar with his fingertips. The stadium erupted once again. Argentina were getting closer. But getting closer was not enough. Spain knew they couldn't defend forever. Eventually, they needed to regain control of possession. Instead of clearing the ball aimlessly, they returned to their trademark passing game whenever possible. Slowly, they began frustrating Argentina again. Minutes passed. The clock became Spain's greatest ally. Every completed pass drained a little more energy from Argentina. Every delayed restart increased the tension. Every successful defensive action brought Spain one step closer to football immortality. With around 20 minutes remaining, both managers made crucial substitutions. Fresh legs entered the pitch, bringing renewed speed and intensity. Spain introduced energetic players capable of maintaining the high press, while Argentina added more attacking options, risking everything in search of an equalizer. The final phase of the match promised to be unforgettable. One mistake could change history. One moment of brilliance could decide the fate of an entire nation. Both teams knew there would be no second chance.